Let's take a look at the questions on homework number 3. First topic is area of triangles. In order to compute the area of a triangle, you need to know the area formula. So the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. Now let's read our question. The area of the triangle below is 1/30 of a square foot. What is the length of the base? Express your answer as a fraction in simplest form. Well, it's important for you to know that the height and the base of a triangle always meet at a 90-degree angle. Sometimes the height is inside the triangle, and sometimes it's outside of the triangle. So let's take notes on what we were told in the formula, in the question. We were told that the area is equal to 1/30. We were asked what the length is. The length of the base. We were asked what the length of the base is, so that we don't know. And I can see here in the diagram that the height is equal to the fraction 1/6. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to our formula here, and we're going to erase and replace the information we know. So let's erase the letter A and replace it with the fraction 1/30. Let's erase the letter H and replace it with the fraction 1/6. And now we have only one variable remaining, which is good because you can only solve a problem with one variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus first on this right side here, and I'm going to simplify it. I have 1/2 times b times 1/6. So I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 1/6. And so over here, I still have my answer of 1/30, but now I have 1/2 times 1/6, or 1 times 1, and 2 times 6. And my times b is still there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate this letter b by removing this timesing by 1/12. And the opposite of multiplying by 1/12 is dividing by 1/12, but we don't write fractions in fractions. So what we're going to do here is instead of dividing by a fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Both sides, 12/1. This 1/12 and that 12/1 will cancel out, right? Reduces to 1. And then 12 times 1 is 12, and 1 times 30 is 30. And now I can reduce this. I know that both of these numbers are divisible by 3, so I'm going to divide them by 3 and see what I get. Looks like I'm going to get here 4/10. And now I'm going to do it again, because I know that these are both divisible by 2. So that means that 3 and 2, which make a 6, means that I could have initially divided by 6. So the base is equal to 2/5. The base is equal to the fraction 2/5. All right, I'm going to clear the screen and type that in. Down here, answer is 2/5. Okay, let's try this one more time. What is the area for the shape below? Well, again, I have a triangle here, and the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. So the base is 5/3, and the height is 3/2. So the area is 1/2 times the base, which is 5/3, times the height, which is 3/2. Now when you're multiplying fractions, don't forget you multiply numerator times numerator. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. And then denominator times denominator times denominator. So I'm going to get 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. All right, I'm going to try reducing this again. And this time I'm going to divide by the greatest common factor, which is 3 this time. So the area is 5. 5 over 4. Sorry about the 6. To enter your answer, you can either type using your keyboard or the Delta Math keyboard right here. When you click it, this keyboard will appear on your screen, and you can type a fraction by typing the numerator, the division sign, and then the denominator. And instead of pressing enter down here, you need to click submit your answer up there. And close the keyboard if you like. All right, let's try another one. Don't forget the area formula is half the base times the height. And now we're going to erase and replace what we know. It looks like we know that the base is 5/6 and the height is 2/3. So I'm going to erase the b, and I'm going to replace it with the fraction 5 over 6. And then I'm going to erase the h and replace it with the fraction 2/3. Now all I need to do is compute. Numerator times numerator. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. And now for the denominator. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. I'm going to divide everything here by a GCF of 2. And now if you need a calculator to help you with the math, you can use your own handheld calculator, which has a fraction button for most of you that looks like this. And when you're multiplying your fractions, 1/2 times 5/6 times 2/3, you would press 1, ABC button, 2, the time sign, 5, ABC button, 6, the time sign, 2, ABC button, 3. And your calculator would look something like this, right? 1/2 times 5/6, and that's how the TI-30X2S shows their fractions. Another thing you could do if you're using your computer is you can open in Google the Desmos calculator. You can type Desmos calculator, and you're looking for the scientific one here, not the graphing one. So the scientific calculator has a fraction bar here with the division sign, or over here with the A over B. So if I want to type a fraction, I simply click this button, then I type 1, click the empty space on the bottom, 2, then click out of the fraction, press the time sign, fraction bar, 5, arrow down by clicking, 6, then arrow out, then press the time sign and the fraction button. I think it was 2/3, yep. 2, whoops, back up, click the top of the fraction, click the bottom of the fraction, and when I press enter, you'll notice I get, or don't press enter, I'll get this decimal here. If you have to give your answer in fraction form, simply click this button right here, and it will convert it for you. 5/18. So we initially multiplied here and got 1 times 5 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 6 is 12, 12 times 3 is 36. And when we divided by our GCF of 2, we got 5/18 down here in the answer box. All right, let's try the second part of the lesson. Area of composite shapes. This is a trapezoid. And you can look up the formula for a trapezoid in your notebook. It's similar to a triangle, except instead of half the base times the height, you have 2 bases. So right here, we're going to change this to base 1 plus base 2. So the area is 1/2. And let's erase our bases and put those values in. One of the bases is 18.5. The other base is 8.5. And now for the height. the height is 5.7. So let's erase it and replace it. Now that's a lot of math, but you can type this math on your calculator. 1, ABC 2, parentheses, 18.5 plus 8.5, parentheses, 5.7. So I'm going to show you that on my graphing calculator now. So my calculator is similar to the TIX 30X2S. So right here, we're going to type 1, and now instead of an ABC button, I have a fraction bar here. So 1/2 times parentheses, right? Your calculator has parentheses, and we had 18.5 plus 8.5. So 18.5 plus 8.5. I literally typed close parentheses, and then I typed the next value, which was 5.7. 5.7. So that's exactly how I had it written on the previous page, and that's exactly how I'm going to type it in my calculator. Press enter, and this calculator gives me 76.95. So on your calculator, if you use this second button, you can transfer back and forth between a fraction and decimal, and you'll see the image looks like this. Looks like F, and then it's got like a red arrow and a D. So on my calculator here, it's in the math menu. I'm going to arrow up, press enter. I'm going to go to my math menu, and I want to convert it to a fraction. So there we go. Wow. Let's see. I hope it didn't ask us for a fraction. 76.95. What is the area? 76.95. 76.95. Excellent. Now, this one, example here, shows you a different way. They are using the formulas for triangles and rectangles. So they're finding the area of this pink triangle, they're finding the area of this gray rectangle, and they're finding the area of this pink triangle. That's another way that you can do it. The trapezoid formula is much faster. Now this one is a shaded area, which means that we're going to find the area of the entire outside rectangle, and then we're going to subtract this white triangle on the inside, and that will give us what's left over. So outside figure, take away the white figure, will give you the shaded figure. Right? So the outside figure here is 17 times 11, and we're going to subtract this white figure here. All right, what is the area in square meters of the shaded part of the rectangle? Well, if you look carefully and trace your eyes along the outside edge here, you're going to see that this shaded part is a trapezoid. There are two parallel bases here and there, so that makes the bases 5 and 17. Now the height has to be a 90-degree angle, and that happens here. So far, I know that I have a base 1 of 5, a base 2 of 17, and a height of 11, because a rectangle is the same on both the bottom and the top. So the area is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So 5 plus 17 is 22. So the area is half of 22 times 11. Half of 22 is 11. And the area of 11 times 11 is 121. That one wasn't so bad. So I'm going to type that in here. 121 meters squared. Okay, let's try another one. All right, let's take a look at this question. The grid you see below is in the shape of a rectangle. What is the area in square units of the shaded part? So the shaded part is a triangle. Triangle has a 90-degree height here in the corner, so that means the base is 6 units, and the height is 8 units. So the area of the triangle is half the base times the height. Half the base times the height. So erase the base, replace it with its value, erase the height, replace it with its value, and compute. Half of 6 is 3, and 3 times 8 is 24. So let's type that in. What is the area of the isosceles trapezoid below? The area of a trapezoid is half base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So the area for us will be half, and we're going to find base 1, 6.1, and base 2, 15.1, and the height, 7.2. Now that's a lot of math to do. You probably could figure it out, but why not use a calculator to speed things up? So half of 6.1 plus 15.1 times 7.2. So I'm going to type that in my calculator here using this division sign. So 1/2, and then the parentheses. And I believe we had 6.1 plus 15.1. So 6.1 plus 15.1, close the parentheses, and now times by the last value, which is 7.2. 76.32. 76.32. All right, let's try one more. We saw something like this already, so I want to get to one that we haven't seen yet. These are all trapezoids with a basic formula of half the base 1 plus base 2. All right, here is another trapezoid. So half the base times the height, base 1 plus base 2. And it looks like our bases are 9, 16, and the height over here is going to match the height over there. So the height is 10. So half of 9 plus 16 times 10. Area is half of 25 times 10. I'm going to do these two first. So the area of half of 250 is 125. Whoops. 125. So let's type that in. Let's see if I can't get a shaded question here. This one. What is the total area in square inches of the shaded sections of the trapezoid? So be careful here that you don't find the area of the whole trapezoid. We just want this section and this section. Those happen to both be triangles, so the area for triangle 1 over here is going to be half the base times the height. The base is 5.2, and the height is 7. And then over here, we have area is half the base times the height, and the base over here is 4.7, and the height is also congruent to the other side, so the height is 7. So we need a calculator to help me out on this. So half of 5.2 times 7 is going to be added to half of 4.7 times 7, and that will give me the area of the shaded regions together. So let's clear our calculator here. 1/2 parentheses, and it was 5.2 times 7. 5.2 parentheses 7. Now I can get that answer, or I can simply add the next part. The other shaded triangle is half of 4.7 parentheses times 7. Put it all on one line, we get 34.65. So let's give it a try. Excellent. And that's how you complete the homework.